Welcome to ASP.NET Lectures. I am Suhaib Ahmed. This is part 1 of ASP.NET video series. In this section, we will learn about validation server control, types of validation server control available in ASP. Validation server control. A validation server control is used to validate the data of an input control. If the data does not pass validation, it will display an error message to the user. Why we use validation? Validation is testing to determine whether the user enters something into the field. After you determine that something was entered, you can then also check to see whether what was entered is in number or a character and if it is in correct format. Types of validation. There are two types of validation: server-side validation, client-side validation. In server-side validation, when the user enter data into a web form and click submit button, and send form data to server as a request. You can perform server-side validation on data. If the data is incorrect or invalid, you can send back a response from server to client stating this, that data is incorrect. While in client-side validation, when the user clicks the submit button, a scripting language that is part of overall HTML page is initiated to check the validity of the data before it's sent to server. This is client-side validation. 6 different validation server controls are available for ASP.NET. Number 1, required field validator. Number 2, compare validator. Number 3, range validator. Number 4, regular expression validator. Number 5, custom validator. Number 6, validation summary. So, we will describe here. Compare validator compares the value of one input control to the value of another input control or to a fixed value. Custom validator allow you to write a method to handle the validation of the value entered. A range validator check that the user enter a value that fall between two values. Regular expression validator ensure that the value of an input control matches a specified pattern. Required field validator make an input control a required field. Validation summary display a report of all validation errors